world and a job that actually does impact people's lives for the better.
Service. My father's first words on entering Westminster.
Yeah, I think stuff to do with family overwhelms me quite a bit.
The weight of family responsibility, it's something that can crush you if you let it. You know, asterisk service asterisk, that single word my father spoke as he stepped into Westminster Abbey. A world where the work you do genuinely changes lives for the better, right now. Prince Harry is somewhere over the Atlantic, racing toward the UK, and make no mistake, this isn't some routine family visit. Sources deep inside the palace are whispering that he's in full panic mode, desperately trying to save something he never imagined he could actually lose his royal titles. But here's the twist that should absolutely terrify him. The person he needs to convince isn't his father, it's his brother. William has apparently seized control of the situation, while King Charles battles his deteriorating health. And if the reports circulating are accurate, William has already made his decision about what needs to happen to Harry and Meghan. This is a kind of royal drama that erupts maybe once in a generation. Imagine the man who once voluntarily walked away from the royal family might now become the one to expose its darkest scandal yet. A prince literally begging to keep his identity, his status, everything that's defined him from the moment he was born. Harry knows the clock is ticking. According to insiders, he's demanding face-to-face meetings with both Charles and William before any decisions become irreversible. Word is, he's apparently prepared to admit he made mistakes, ready to make amends, ready to do whatever it takes. But the question hanging in the air, is it already too late? The palace's deafening silence about Harry's arrival tells you everything you need to know about how they're feeling about this emergency trip. The real question isn't whether Harry can reach London fast enough. It's whether anyone's even willing to listen when he gets there. That's different. I absolutely agree. This whole situation screams William's influence. The calculated way they're calling Harry dramatic, suggesting that nothing he says will actually matter once he arrives. Before we dive into William's real plan and what Meghan's been orchestrating behind the scenes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this situation is about to explode in ways nobody's expecting. Drop a like if you want to see how this ends. Now, let's get into it. To truly understand why Harry's in full panic mode, we need to examine what's actually happening behind those palace walls. King Charles's health crisis fundamentally changed how the royal family operates, and most people have absolutely no idea just how seismic that shift has been. Breaking right now, the British royal family finds itself mired in one of its biggest crises in modern history. Palace insiders are using the term pre-succession period, which is essentially code for William running the entire operation while his father is too physically weakened to push back. And when I say running the operation, I mean William is making every single call, every decision, every strategic move, every plan for the monarchy's future. Charles has always been the emotional one, the father who desperately wanted reconciliation with Harry regardless of the cost. He spent years attempting to bring his sons back together, clinging to hope that somehow the family wounds could heal. He believed in forgiveness, in second chances, in giving people opportunities to make things right. That's simply who Charles is at his core. Hello, I welcome you to this, your channel, and I'm genuinely pleased to share this with you. But Charles's illness has handed William the opening he's been waiting years for, and he's not wasting a single moment of it. While Charles focuses on his health and recovery, William has been quietly, methodically reshaping everything. Here's where it gets genuinely interesting. William approaches the monarchy from a completely different angle than his father does. To him, it's not merely some family institution requiring protection for sentimental reasons. It's a brand, a business that must prove its value to the public watching every single day. He's thinking about perception, about relevance, about how the royal family appears to people who are actively questioning whether the monarchy should even exist anymore. Prince William has just fired the opening shot in what insiders are calling the most explosive royal family confrontation in modern history. He's not interested in family drama, second chances, or emotional reconciliation. He's interested in results, cold, calculated results that demonstrate the monarchy's continued relevance in today's world. And that mindset changes absolutely everything about how this situation unfolds. Charles would have probably let Harry back in eventually, found some pathway to make peace and move forward together as a family. Give it time. Let the wounds heal. Work through the issues gradually. But William, he's analyzing this situation like a CEO examining underperforming divisions of a company. They would know things. They'd be everywhere. And if you let that creep in, the damage it can do to your family life is something I vowed would never happen. If something isn't working, if something's actively damaging the brand, if something's creating more problems than it's solving, you eliminate it. No hesitation, no sentimentality, no looking back with regret. What should genuinely terrify Harry is that William's influence grows exponentially stronger. With each passing day as Charles grows weaker, the balance of power has completely, irreversibly shifted. The future king is already making decisions as if he's already wearing the crown. He's restructuring operational frameworks, planning what the monarchy will look like 5 years, 10 years down the line. So Prince William is reportedly upset over Prince Harry's PR stunt to fly over from the United States, and he's deciding who stays and who goes, who adds value and who's become a liability. His vision for the monarchy's future doesn't include space for anyone who's been freeloading or converting their titles into business opportunities. Harry doesn't even register on William's priority list anymore. He's just another problem requiring resolution, another issue to handle before the real transformational work begins. There was a specific moment back in 2023 that apparently crystallized William's resolve, and it's something most people don't even know about. William was forced to appear publicly, alongside Prince Andrew at a royal event. Prince William breaks into tears as Prince Harry finally reveals how much he still loves him. If you know anything about Andrew's reputation and the controversies surrounding him, you understand immediately why this was a catastrophic problem. The public backlash was immediate and absolutely brutal. People were furious, demanding answers about why someone who'd become so deeply controversial was still being given any platform whatsoever, and why the future king was standing beside him as if everything was perfectly acceptable. William was absolutely livid about being positioned that way. According to sources close to the situation, he felt completely blindsided. Here he is working tirelessly to modernize the monarchy, to demonstrate to the world that the royal family understands the gravity of public perception, and that actions carry real meaning. The first stage of the procedure probably involves obtaining authorization from the British Parliament. To initiate this process, it is necessary, and then he gets pulled into a photo opportunity that completely contradicts everything he's been building toward. It made him appear weak. It made the entire institution look hopelessly out of touch with reality. And that's when something fundamental shifted in William's thinking. Sources say that was the precise moment he decided enough was enough. No more protecting family members who actively damage the institution. No more looking the other way while people exploit their royal connections for personal gain. No more extending second chances to people who've already proven they refuse to play by the established rules. It wasn't just about Andrew anymore. It was about establishing an unbreakable standard, okay? So I know you don't leave this in my comment section, but I just saw something I want to share with you because I think it kind of goes with what you're saying, a line that couldn't be crossed without consequences. Get this, after that incident, William apparently started keeping a mental list. Maybe not literally written down, but he knew exactly who needed to be removed from proximity to the throne. Andrew was on it, and so was Harry. The critical difference is that Charles always wanted to heal wounds and bring everyone back together to keep the family intact regardless of the cost. But William, he's prepared to sever ties completely if that's what protecting the monarchy's integrity requires. And here's the part that should absolutely terrify Harry. He's not even on William's active radar anymore. He's not someone William is actively strategizing about or planning accommodation for. Buckingham Palace just dropped a plot twist that probably made Montecito shake a little. Prince Andrew just lost the right to use his Duke of York title. Harry's just background noise now. A problem that'll get dealt with when the timing is strategically optimal. William's focused laser sharp on the future, on constructing something sustainable, on proving the monarchy deserves to exist in the 21st century. And in that carefully constructed vision, there's no room for drama, no space for individuals who consistently place their own interests above the institution's welfare. Harry dropped completely off the radar the moment William realized he wasn't coming back on terms. That actually made institutional sense. Here's something that should absolutely shake the Sussexes to their core. A new poll just dropped revealing that 47% of respondents see Meghan Markle as more damaging to the royal image than Prince Andrew. Oh, Meghan, you might want to buckle up because your ex-bestie Nikki Purdy just dropped a cryptic message on X. The tweet reads, "Never had an ND, let that sink in for a moment. Prince Andrew, who's been connected to one of the most explosive controversies in modern royal history. And nearly half of the people surveyed believe Meghan is worse for the family's reputation. That's the hostile environment Harry is walking directly into right now. William has made it crystal clear that he plans to surgically remove anyone he considers damaging to the royal brand. And that list, it's short, but it's devastatingly specific. Andrew's on it. Harry's on it. Meghan's definitely on it. There's no sentimentality clouding these decisions. No brotherly love powerful enough to overcome what William perceives as a direct existential threat to everything he's attempting to build: the City of Lights, love, and apparently leaked hotel bills. Oh yes, what was meant to be when William examines this situation. He doesn't see his little brother who needs compassion and support. He sees someone who's actively working against the institution's interests. And the compounding problem for Harry and Meghan is they keep providing William with fresh ammunition. Every move they make, every business venture they announce, every interview they participate in, it all just accumulates into an ever-growing pile of evidence. William's watching everything with calculated attention. He's taking meticulous notes. He's cataloging every reason why this permanent separation needs to happen. The genuinely scary thing is that public opinion is shifting decisively in William's direction. People are exhausted by the constant drama. They're tired of hearing about family conflicts, tell-all books, and lucrative Netflix deals. In a jaw-dropping moment, Prince William and Prince Harry were left completely shattered by a revelation they never saw coming. They want the royal family to simply do their job: show up, cut ribbons, support charitable causes, represent the country with dignity. All this relentless back and forth between Harry and the palace has become exhausting for everyone watching, and William recognizes this fatigue. He understands that if he makes a decisive move to distance Harry and Meghan permanently, a substantial portion of the public will actually support him enthusiastically. Remember when the late Queen Elizabeth specifically instructed Meghan not to use the HRH title for commercial purposes? Well, Meghan apparently just completely ignored that directive and has been systematically using her royal status to promote whatever project she's currently developing. Hold on to your seats, folks. Nobody expected the words that would come from King Charles's lips that night. Not in private, not in right now. That project appears to be a cosmetics line. She's been posting these strategically cryptic Instagram photos of herself applying lipstick, with all the product labels conveniently obscured from view. And if you understand anything about beauty industry marketing, you know exactly what that signifies. That's textbook industry code for I'm about to launch my own brand. It's how you methodically build anticipation. You create mystery around your personal beauty routine. Get people genuinely curious about what products you're using. And then boom, you reveal you've been using your own products all along. It's a classic, proven marketing playbook. Get this, she's even been meeting with Chloe Mal for years. One of Britain's most powerful women held her tongue. Victoria Beckham, a woman who built a global fashion empire on elegance. Mal is an editor at Vogue in New York. And Meghan's attempting to position herself as some kind of beauty industry mogul. She's following the exact formula that Kylie Jenner and Rihanna successfully deployed. Build a celebrity image, strategically tease the products, launch the cosmetics line. Watch the revenue stream in. Those to transform their celebrity status into billion-dollar beauty empires. But here's what's genuinely remarkable: Kylie and Rihanna constructed their brands on their own established fame and following, their own documented talent, their own entrepreneurial hustle. Meghan's entire value proposition in the business world stems from exactly one thing. She married a prince. That's it. That's her complete selling point. If I could have a conversation with members of the British royal family, which obviously includes Harry, Meghan, William, Kate, Charles, without that royal connection, without that Duchess title attached to her name, she's just another celebrity attempting to launch a makeup line in an already oversaturated market. And this is precisely the kind of behavior that drives William absolutely insane with frustration. His grandmother specifically instructed Meghan not to do this. It wasn't a casual suggestion. It wasn't friendly advice she could consider and potentially disregard. It was a direct, unambiguous instruction from the Queen herself. And Meghan's proceeding anyway, as if the rules simply don't apply to her specifically. She's attempting to construct a commercial empire entirely off the foundation of a title she acquired through marriage, weaponizing royal status as her primary business asset. William and Charles's relationship is understood to have gone from strength to strength over the past few months. Particularly, William sees exactly what she's orchestrating. She's not being remotely subtle about her strategy. She's not attempting to hide her intentions. She's almost brazenly flaunting it, posting on Instagram, conducting meetings with influential fashion editors, cultivating all the strategically valuable industry connections, and every single calculated move she makes just provides additional validation for William's position about why they absolutely cannot retain royal titles, while simultaneously running commercial ventures. Listen, those Instagram posts aren't accidental. In the beauty industry, when you begin posting mysterious photographs of yourself using products with labels deliberately hidden, everyone in the business immediately recognizes exactly what you're executing. Why aren't William and Harry on good terms? It all started because of one woman, once incredibly close. William and Harry were seen as the royal families. You're systematically building anticipation. You're creating organic buzz. You're making people actively ask, what is she using? So that when you finally reveal it's your own line, people are already emotionally invested in the answer. It's marketing 101, and Meghan's following the established playbook step by methodical step. The Vogue meeting with Chloe Mal? That's an integral component of the identical strategy. She's not merely trying to sell lipstick to consumers. She's attempting to position herself as someone who genuinely belongs in elite beauty and fashion circles. Someone whose opinion carries legitimate weight. Someone who possesses taste and expertise worth paying serious attention to. She wants to be perceived as a tastemaker, not just another celebrity mechanically slapping their name on manufactured products. Do you know which grandchild King Charles likes the most? King Charles's favorite grandchild is not Queen Elizabeth's favorite. Charles has 5. Here's the critical thing. Though every single strategic move she makes just hands William additional justification to act decisively, she's literally demonstrating to him in real time exactly why his concerns are completely valid. The late Queen explicitly told her not to commercialize the royal connection. William has repeatedly stated this is fundamentally unacceptable, and she's proceeding anyway, almost as if she's deliberately testing their resolve, as if she's essentially saying, okay, you keep threatening to revoke the titles, but you won't actually follow through with consequences. And maybe that calculation has been accurate up until this point. Maybe she's correctly assessed that they'll never actually execute the threat, because it would generate negative optics for the family's public image. Well, it looks like Harry took the shot and the king said no. King Charles and Prince William refuse Harry, but she's fundamentally not accounting for the transformative fact that William's running operations now, not Charles, and William genuinely doesn't care about temporary negative optics if it means protecting the institution's integrity long term. Get this, Harry's caught squarely in the middle of this escalating conflict. On one side, you have your wife who's constructing what she genuinely perceives as a legitimate business empire. She's strategically leveraging every advantage available to her, including the prestigious titles that came packaged with marrying you. On the opposite side, you have your brother who's essentially operating as the de facto monarch now and has made it abundantly, unmistakably clear that exploiting royal titles for commercial gain. Have you noticed King Charles III's visibly exhausted and sometimes alarmingly weak appearance? Few people realize that Prince William has already been quietly preparing for the throne, in 3 strategically calculated ways, all while this family crisis reaches its breaking point. That's enough justification to sever ties permanently. How do you possibly navigate that impossible position? What does reconciliation even realistically look like when the fundamental issue is that your wife's entire business strategy directly contradicts everything her brother stands for? If Harry genuinely wants to save his titles, he's going to have to make profound sacrifices. And those sacrifices might include things Meghan's categorically not willing to surrender. Here's what's genuinely wild about this entire situation. If Harry actually wants to save his titles, reconciliation is going to require real, tangible sacrifices. And I'm not talking about minor adjustments or symbolic gestures. I'm talking about life-changing, relationship-altering decisions that would completely reshape everything he's painstakingly built. Over the last few years, breaking news. We finally know where those bruises came from on Prince William's neck. What I'm going to say next is he'd probably have to admit publicly that some of what he revealed in his book and in those interviews was factually wrong or deliberately exaggerated. Think about that for a moment. All those explosive revelations, all those intimate stories about growing up trapped in the royal machinery, all the behind-the-scenes details he shared with the world he'd have to retract. At least some of that. Say he got emotionally carried away. Say his perspective was clouded by anger. Say things weren't exactly how he portrayed them in those moments. That's absolutely humiliating. That's admitting to the entire world breaking news. British media reported this Wednesday that the advisors to King Charles are telling him to avoid meeting Prince Harry when that maybe you weren't entirely truthful, or that you manipulated facts to fit your preferred narrative. And the requirements don't stop there. He'd need to agree to terminate any commercial ventures that trade on royal status or palace access. No more Netflix deals where he's dissecting palace life for public consumption. No more tell-all books mining family trauma for profit. No more systematically monetizing his position as a prince. Everything he and Meghan have been constructing in California would all have to stop completely, or at minimum get drastically scaled back. Think about what that means financially for their future. Did you know that Prince William plans to kick Harry's American kids out of the royal family? Recently, there were reports that Harry wants his 2 children they've built their entire brand, their entire income stream around being able to tell their authentic side of the royal story. Without that unique access and insider perspective, what do they actually have to offer? What's their genuine value proposition in an oversaturated celebrity market? And here's the really agonizing part of this equation. He might even have to publicly distance himself from some of Meghan's business plans, or at absolute minimum make it crystal clear that she's operating completely independently of any royal connection. Imagine having that conversation with your wife, the mother of your children. Hey, so about your cosmetics line and all these ambitious projects you're building, I need you to either shut them down entirely or make it abundantly obvious I'm not involved and you're not leveraging the Duchess title. How does that conversation even begin? No wonder William has seemed different lately. It's definitely not because he's simply getting older. First, he's grown a beard, a near taboo in the royal. How do you tell your partner that their dreams and legitimate ambitions are actively threatening your entire family legacy? Because that's what this fundamentally comes down to. Harry's being forced to choose between his wife's ambitions and his royal identity. Between the life they've carefully constructed in California and the life he was born into. Between being his own autonomous person and being a prince of the realm. And there's absolutely no middle ground here, no room for negotiation. William's not interested in compromise or gradual solutions. It's all or nothing, in or out, right now, honestly. Can you realistically see any of that actually happening? Can you picture Harry taking back some of the painful things he said about the family in that book? Those weren't just casual throwaway comments made in frustration. Why King Charles hates Prince Harry? When William was born, Charles always wanted a daughter. But Princess Diana gave birth. Those were deeply personal revelations about his traumatic childhood. His mother's death, his fractured relationships with his father and brother. Can you genuinely imagine Meghan shutting down her cosmetics line before it even launches? Just because William demands it. After all the strategic planning, all the high-level meetings, all the careful strategy sessions with powerful industry people, it's genuinely hard to picture, right? Because here's the uncomfortable reality. Harry and Meghan left the royal family specifically so they could have freedom, so they could control their own narrative, so they could build their own independent thing without all the suffocating restrictions and archaic rules. They wanted to raise their children away from the relentless media circus. Shocking news. In 2025, Prince William is set to become the new king. But this won't be an ordinary succession rumor. They wanted to generate their own income. On their own terms. They wanted to speak their truth without palace handlers meticulously editing every single word. That was the entire point of leaving in the first place. And now William's basically saying, you can come back. But only if you surrender all of the hard-won freedom and follow our rules again without question. That's not reconciliation in any meaningful sense. That's complete surrender. That's Harry publicly admitting that leaving was a catastrophic mistake, and Meghan agreeing that her entire approach to building their post-royal life was fundamentally wrong. The chances of both of them being willing to do that pretty much zero. Why has the royal family never truly supported Harry? From the moment Harry was born, he was under constant scrutiny. However, plus, there's the profound trust issue that nobody's really addressing. Even if Harry did all of this, even if he made every single sacrifice William demanded, would William actually welcome him back with open arms? Or would this just be the first test with progressively more demands coming later? Would Harry spend the rest of his entire life proving his loyalty, always wondering if one wrong move, one misstep, would get him permanently cut off again? Here's the other critical factor working against Harry time, and I mean that in a really specific, urgent way. Charles's deteriorating health situation means William's timeline for everything has accelerated dramatically. No wonder Prince Andrew was stripped of his title as the Duke of York. He was only the first to fall. The one truly giving the royal family this isn't something that's going to play out gradually, over years with slow, careful negotiations and gradual emotional healing. William's operating-like decisions need to be made immediately, implemented right now before the situation changes even more drastically. William's not interested in long, drawn-out reconciliation processes with professional mediators. He doesn't want months of back-and-forth discussions, expensive family therapy sessions, or carefully worded public statements that leave room for multiple interpretations. He wants clear, unambiguous answers. Yes or no? In or out? Are you with the program or not? No wonder that even if Prince Harry were to return to the royal family one day, there would still be 3 members who would not, and he wants those definitive answers fast. Because every single day that goes by with this situation unresolved is another day of destabilizing uncertainty for the monarchy's future trajectory. Listen, there's a genuinely important question here that nobody's really asking out loud. Would Charles actually side with Harry if it came down to a direct confrontation? Yes, Charles loves his son deeply. Of course he does. He spent years desperately wanting his family back together, wanting his boys to reconcile, wanting some kind of happy ending to this heartbreaking mess. But here's what's fundamentally changed. Charles is increasingly deferring to William on major decisions about the monarchy's future direction. Think about this situation carefully. Breaking news. Prince Harry has finally come back to the UK, and rumor has it he and Prince William have reached. Charles is dealing with his own serious health battles right now. He's fighting just to maintain his strength, to show up for his constitutional duties, to prove he can still be king despite everything he's physically going through. Does he really have the energy to fight William on this emotionally charged issue? Does he have the strength to stand up to his eldest son and future king and say firmly, "No, we're doing this my way"? Harry stays, regardless of your objections. And honestly, if William makes his point really clear, and by all accounts, he's exceptionally skilled at explaining his strategic position, would Charles actually fight him on it? William's going to lay out exactly why Harry and Meghan are actively damaging the institution's credibility. Breaking news. Prince William may never become king. A new interpretation of Nostradamus' ancient prophecy has stopped. He's going to present compelling evidence showing how public opinion's shifting decisively. He's going to explain his comprehensive vision for a streamlined, drama-free monarchy that actually functions effectively in the modern world. And Charles, who's already physically weakened, who's already consciously letting William make more and more decisions, is he really going to push back against that logic? Word is that Charles still holds out hope for some kind of miraculous family reunion, that he still genuinely believes there's a viable path forward where everyone's together again. But William, he's moved completely past that idealistic thinking. He's operating in hard reality, not in what he emotionally wishes could happen. And the reality is that as long as Charles is dealing with his health challenges, William's influence only grows exponentially stronger. The moment King Charles dies, everything changes instantly. Here's what happens next. The UK would activate the power has already shifted in practical terms. The decisions are already being made behind closed doors. Harry's running out of time to change any of it. And here's the question nobody's asking. But everyone should be seriously thinking about what actually happens. If Harry loses this battle decisively, let's game this scenario out because the implications are absolutely massive. If William makes this happen and Harry and Meghan lose the Sussex titles permanently, they go from being the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to just Harry and Meghan Windsor regular people with a famous last name. Their children lose their prince and princess titles immediately. Their security situation potentially changes dramatically because some of their protection is tied to having official royal status. Camilla's betrayal has shattered everything I once believed in. In a moment of vulnerability, while I felt, and here's the enormous one, their ability to command massive fees for appearances and commercial deals takes a serious, devastating hit. Think about this carefully. The entire value they brought to Netflix, to major book publishers, to exclusive speaking engagements, it was that they were actual members of the British royal family, with legitimate titles and insider access. They had privileged insider knowledge. They had authentic royal credibility. They could offer something nobody else on earth could provide. But if those titles disappear permanently, they're just another celebrity couple with stories to tell. And the market's already absolutely flooded with celebrity memoirs and streaming content. Do you know how bad Prince William's temper can be? To the public, he's a charming, refined, perfect prince. But the real William has quite a temper, get this. Without the titles providing legitimacy, every deal they've made, every partnership they've carefully built, every business venture they're currently planning, all of it gets reevaluated immediately. Would Netflix have paid them tens of millions if they were just Harry and Meghan Windsor with no formal royal connection? Probably not anywhere close. Would publishers be as interested in their next book without royal credibility? Highly doubtful. The titles aren't just about social status and prestige. They're about money. Real, substantial money that funds their entire lifestyle. But let's say Harry somehow pulls off a successful reconciliation against all odds. What does that actually look like in practical terms? William's vision for a reformed monarchy is crystal clear and absolutely uncompromising. Tight, efficient, working royals only. I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point, and he points to Princess Anne as the ideal model, someone who does the work quietly and effectively, without drama, without trying to turn every appearance into content for a streaming deal. She shows up, does her job with dignity, goes home. No fuss, no manufactured headlines, no controversies. Could Harry and Meghan actually fit into that restrictive model? Would they even want to live that way? Everything they've built in California is fundamentally based on being able to tell their story their way, on their terms. That's completely opposite of what William's trying to construct. The whole point of working royals and William's vision is that you don't have your own separate agenda. You don't have lucrative side projects. You don't monetize your position for personal gain. You just serve the institution. King Charles and Prince William have reportedly reached a sad point in their ongoing feud with Prince Harry. Many fans had hoped the British public remains deeply split on whether Harry deserves another chance. Some people think he's been treated unfairly and pushed out by a cold, unforgiving institution. They see a guy who was genuinely struggling, who lost his mother tragically as a kid, who never really fit comfortably into the rigid system and finally had the courage to leave. Others think he's made his choices freely and now needs to live with the consequences. He had every privilege in the world, and he threw it away to be a celebrity in California. William clearly falls decisively into the second camp, and since he's the one who's going to be king, his opinion is the only one that really matters, not the public's, not the media's, not even Charles's at this point. William is the future. What he decides now shapes the monarchy for the next 50 years. Prince Harry and King Charles's emotional face-to-face meeting reportedly included hugs and tears. According to an insider, the one thing is absolutely certain, though. Whatever happens in these meetings over the next few days will determine the Sussex's future forever. This isn't a temporary situation that'll eventually blow over with time. This isn't manufactured drama that'll fade from headlines. These are permanent, life-altering decisions being made right now, in real time. Harry's either going to walk away with his titles intact and some kind of viable path back to the family with the marriage of Prince Charles to Camilla. Prince William and Harry have a half-brother and sister. They are Camilla's children from her first marriage, or he's going to lose everything that connects him to his royal identity and birthright. There's no middle ground anymore, no room for negotiation or compromise. So what do you think Harry should do? Should he give up the titles voluntarily and build a completely independent life in California, free from all the royal drama and suffocating expectations? Or should he fight with everything he has to stay connected to the family he was born into, even if it means making sacrifices that could tear his marriage apart? Because here's the uncomfortable reality. There's no easy answer here, no clear right choice. If he keeps the titles, he's stuck playing by William's rules forever. I hope we don't go back to some of the practices in the past that Harry and I had to grow up in. And I will do everything I can to make if he loses them. He loses a huge part of his identity and probably a massive portion of his income potential. And if he tries to compromise, he's going to end up making nobody happy, not William, not Meghan, probably not even himself. This is one of those impossible situations where no matter what Harry decides, someone's going to be disappointed. Someone's going to feel betrayed. Someone's going to say he made the wrong choice. But that's the position he's in now. Years of difficult decisions, years of building tension. Years of trying to have it both ways. It's all coming to a head in these next few days. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this situation is far from over. Do you think William's being too harsh? Or is he doing what he needs to do to keep the royal family strong and relevant? Does Harry deserve another chance? Or has he burned too many bridges to ever return? I genuinely want to hear what you think about this impossible situation. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. Because when this story breaks, and trust me, it's going to break soon, you'll want to be the first to know exactly what went down in those high-stakes palace meetings. Hit that like button if this video got you thinking, and I'll see you in the next one.